Hey there, you guys. It's Greg. I'm going to take you through a process of compositing that will take advantage of an effect called perspective corner pin. So what I have, and this is the project that you guys should be looking at, are a couple elements in the project folder here. And one of them is Times Square movie, and I'm just going to make a new comp out of that, drag it onto the new comp button, and maybe I'll zoom out just so we can see the whole thing. I don't need to go that far. Come on, cooperate with me. I want to make you go down. It's not working. Why? Because it's being a jerk. That's why. Well, anyways, I'll just go back to maybe 100%. Fine. Be that way, After Effects. This is a moving shot. If you do a little preview, you'll see people walking around downtown New York, Times Square. And, you know, one thing that Times Square is definitely known for is spinning wheels of death. I don't know, my computer's just not loving me right now. I need the love. Anyways, Times Square, as everyone should know, full of screens all over the place. So what if we were given the task of saying, hey, we got this shot, you know, it's of Times Square, but we're supposed to put something else on one of these screens, and since it would cost a lot of money to actually put it on a screen in Times Square and get a camera crew there and make sure it all works out, a lot of times in commercials or in films or whatnot, they'll just let it happen in post. That's our job. We're going to make it happen in post. Notice I turned the mute button, or I guess the sound button, off. So that clip is muted. That's just one less thing that After Effects will have to process when you do RAM previews and whatnot. It's the habit you should get into as you work with video, because every time you drag a new video element into your timeline, it'll have the audio on. And most of the time when we're working in After Effects, we don't really care about audio anyways. So it'd be a nice preset for them to say, when importing video, automatically turn off audio. Anyways, I'm going to take this Hop Hunter video and bring that in as well. It's going to be really big. There we go. I just turned off the audio. So we'll start by scaling it down. And if I was charged with the responsibility of getting this Hop Hunter commercial that I worked on last year, by the way, it's kind of a cool piece, onto this building side display, then I'm going to need to do a little more than just change the scale and move it around. Because if you can tell, it's, you know, it's at an angle, right? But I can't just rotate it, move it there. There's a little bit of perspective. So this ends up being a little more of a challenge, but not really, as long as you understand the effect that we're using. It's very simple. It has 4 points that we just have to manipulate. So with that clip selected, if I go to my effects menu and find distort, there are all kinds of great things you can do with distortion, right? You should know that, because you by now should have played with almost everything in After Effects to figure out, hey, what does this do? So a corner pin, if I put it on that clip, ends up opening effect controls. Here's corner pin. There are 4 things that I need to be responsible for: an upper left corner, an upper right corner, lower left, and a lower right. And it's kind of hard to tell right now, but those corners are represented by a little circle with a crosshair in it, and I can start to move those corners around and start to line up my movie with the dimensions of that billboard And it's so easy. Look at how easy that was. So this is just a piece for Sierra Nevada, but imagine having your own mug or something in there. I'm moving the clip, by the way, just so that it doesn't start off on black. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, let's do a little RAM preview. Why do I feel like I'm missing a button up there? Well, anyways, I know a shortcut for it. So, this is a tripod shot here. The video is not moving. Thank God, because that would be a real headache, right? I'd have to get into things like motion tracking or track the camera, and then dealing with the 3D camera and 3D elements, and that's something that we just haven't really explored in this class. But like I mentioned in one of the topics, this is if this is really kind of getting you excited about something, then there's a lot more to dive into with something called screen replacements. If you just search screen replacement tutorial After Effects, you'll get all kinds of really cool stuff that you can geek out on and really start to develop even more powerful skills. So this being a static shot, there we go. I've got my movie up there on the billboard, and I kind of rushed through it. I should do things like get in a little closer. Whoa. And have a look at exactly where my corners are. I sure don't like that adaptive resolution stuff. It makes it kind of difficult. Jeez, I'm feeling like an old man at a computer today. What's your zooming in and out business? So that one, obviously, I was a little bit off there. So, the trick here is zooming in. Wow, that's really getting in there. And being precise, because the more precise we are, the better our composites will be. Sounds like a great little song that we should learn in kindergarten. The more precise we are, the better composites will be. Alright, so I think you get it, but things to keep in mind would be, does the new composited image match the color and the light of the rest of the world? In this case, this is like a raw video and it's just being put up and it looks great. But the shot is a little overexposed itself, the original. So I might have to do a few things like get into some color correction. And maybe mess with some levels. Move over, you are. Maybe blow those out a little bit. Lower some of those black values just a touch. Just to try to see if I can get it to feel like it belongs there with the rest of them. Lighter moments might be a little more blown out, because just look what's going on with this. We're losing a lot of detail back there, but and saturation's down even a little bit, so that might even be another color correction thing that we explore, would be hue and saturation. Let's just say, let's take out some of the saturation just to mute it a little bit more. And if you wanted to get really crazy, you could get into things like would it be noise and grain? No. Yeah, here we go. Under stylize, I could go into something like mosaic. And right off the bat, it looks pretty terrible. But if I'm trying to make this look like maybe it's, big, clunky screen of pixels, and it needs to be less sharp, then maybe I think about the way pixels operate. So 117 by 117, that square, I might move it above both of the other effects. What happens if I move it before corner pin? But you can see that the quality of that video is definitely more pixely before before and after. I wouldn't do it in this case because the screen technologies that they're using down there are pretty much HD now. I'll just delete that out of there. But you get the picture. So just keep those things in mind. You're trying to make things blend in, feel real. Maybe my edges are too sharp. I need to soften those a little bit. So then at that point I'm dealing with a matte. I'm dealing with maybe a choker where I'm choking the sides, or maybe I'm gonna do a simple choker. No, that's gonna end up just bringing it in, bringing my edges in, not blurring them. If I wanted to blur them, I would have to use a mask. So I would say, all right, Hop Hunter. Let's go to Layer, Mask, New Mask. And then under the mask itself, I have to play with my mask feather, and that will soften my edges. You can see that happening. So it's a little bit of a softer edge now along there because of the nature of the feather on the mask. What's really happening, I'd have to take the corner pin off. See, the corner pin is sort of fools us because there's the actual boundary of the clip with the effect put on. So if I just turn the effect off, there's the clip. You can see my edges are a little more soft because of that mask feather. Boop. There you go. So that is dealing with corner pin. One more cool thing. So the file we should open is called Clouds Corner Pin. Not file, I guess, composition. And caps lock. And what we have here is an image composite of two layers, mountains and clouds. So you should be able to see that. Oh, there's some junk right there. It's so nice to know that one of the amazing features in After Effects is the live editing. So this being a Photoshop file, all I have to do is go to Edit, Edit Original, or use Command E. Takes me to the file. Turn that sucker off. Now it's just a matter of remembering where that was. That's a huge eraser gig. Hey, that's not the eraser I want anyways. This one. There's somewhere over here. There it was. Got it. Alright, I hit save, and I go back to After Effects. And survey says I got it. Cool. Alright, so what can we use corner pin for on something like this? This is just a trick, really, but at least it helps you think about making better images, right? So if I select my clouds layer, then I find my distort corner pin, and I really skew these clouds. Well, actually, I'll use this one kind of over here. I'm going to have to touch the bottom ones, just the top. I might even go further just to make this look even better. I suppose I could come up with those bottom ones. Give me a little more sky. Okay, so these upper left and upper right coordinates can be keyframes, so that should tell you that you can animate this. So from the beginning of time, I set keyframes. I'll hit U just to show me the keyframes used currently, and then I'll go to my, let's go 5 seconds here. And now, if I take the corner pin on the top right and the top left and just sort of switching. Zoom back in again here. What we end up having is this interesting illusion of a ceiling of clouds, a three-dimensional sort of ceiling here. So the reason being, perspective has the illusion of things closer to us moving at a faster rate than what is further back. So with that parallel pin working for the stretching of the upper corners and then just kind of moving them from left to right will give us enough distortion going on in the relationship to where the bottom pins are to make us feel like there's actually I'll just bring my workspace over here and we'll do it that way. Makes it feel like things are actually like it's video, you know? I mean, look how cool that is. It's awesome. However, this would be casting shadows on the mountains. You'd see the shadows moving. And so there are some things you could do to try to even fake that. But, man, I'm not even going to get into that. But just trying to show you the use of the corner pin. You know, this is a still image that has now totally come to life, and it actually feels like it has true depth. All right, that should do it for corner pin. Thank you.